What's up, everybody? Welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. Uh, my name is Ryan Williams, and today, as always, I am joined by Shannon Tynes
What's up? What's up?
and Levon Maynard.
What up?
So today we have a pretty good episode for you. Man, that's low expectations. Pretty good. And we have a great episode for
That's right.
you.
Yeah, you gotta hype it up. You
Yeah.
gotta sell. You gotta sell these people.
So today's episode, Shannon's going to break down the recent security breach for Tesla, Equinox, and Cloudflare. Go ahead.
All right, so this one actually comes from Fox Business, and what happened was Tesla, Equinox, Cloudflare are among victims in a hack exposing over 150,000 security cameras. Right, so Verdaka is the name of the company that sells the security cameras. It had to disable all its internal administrator accounts to prevent unauthorized access because there was a group that got access to their root access to their security cameras. Right, so the account that controlled all the security cameras. The name of the group, it's a group of hackers known as Advanced Persistent Threat 69420 Arson Cats, right?
Hmm.
It's
So
catchy.
yeah,
Pretty.
it's catchy, right? It's catchy, right? Arson Cats, like okay, yeah, you're starting fires all over the place. All right, I got you. You know, but yeah, so what they did was they actually got root access, and the company Verdaka, they have like a super admin account, so they can be in and looking, or well, I'm not gonna say looking, but have access to security cameras for troubleshooting purposes and things of that nature. And they got a hold of it, and yeah, so they were in there just looking at stuff and whatnot, and for all these different companies that they got access to, this is one of those things where so we can't sit here and say the companies did wrong, right? Like you buy this product on the off chance that you hope that the supplier is doing their part, and for whatever reason they weren't. But this is one of those things that the companies that were using their product are probably going to be a little more pissed off, right? So especially Tesla, because Tesla, it was some that were there were some cameras that were in their warehouse, right? So it's one of those things where Tesla, it keeps their processes, it's proprietary to them, right? That's how they make money. So if the cameras that they have in there, if you got people looking at them like, oh, we see that Tesla, I don't know, they connect a trunk like this through this or whatever, some type of proprietary way they do it. These companies they're not going to be very happy about it, right? And again, so like the companies you mentioned, it was Equinox, it was some of their luxury gym locations, Cloudflare offices in San Francisco, Austin, London, and New York. Like I said, cameras at the Tesla warehouses. They had some cameras inside. Actually, there was some inside some jails, Madison County Jail in Huntsville, Alabama. There was another medical center in Texarkana, Texas. Like this is the stuff that, again, you hope somebody is doing their part. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm trusting you as a company to be managing like you're supposed to. And in this instance, they weren't, right? And so, and the thing is, like, what they actually interviewed one of the people here. I mean, I gotta find this because I thought it was kind of funny, right? Uh, so the group's reasoning for the hacking is lots of curiosity, fighting for freedom of information, right, and against intellectual property, a huge dose of anti-capitalism, and a hint of anarchism. That's the one that gets me, right? I hear that anarchy, I hear the anarchism. I'm like, oh,
Right.
you know what I mean? But yeah, this is man, like, when is this gonna stop? Right? Like, this is just what we get into every week. We're just doing, hey, somebody got hacked, this happened, there's some ransomware. It's just, I don't know, man. Same stuff, different day. I feel like it's Groundhog's Day, right? I'm what is it? Patuxent, what's the name of that Groundhog Day? Puxacani
Poughkeepsie.
Something.
Phil,
That's right.
Puxacani Phil, or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think you had it.
Man, yeah. That's how I feel. But Levon, man, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah. I think it's I, I think it's interesting that they got access to these cameras. I assume that from reading the article, it seems like maybe it was just all video. I'm not sure if any audio was captured from these devices. Um, which I tend to like. I don't know. It's just my personal thing, but I think audio is like more concerning to me than video. I feel like the video, maybe they see some things, they see some people walking around, they see like, oh, this person, like I saw some video clips of the person of the I think it was pretty much like a police department or something like that. They saw inside of a like a interrogation room, something like that, where they were talking to somebody like a suspect. Obviously, that PII, that person's now on blast. Like, oh, I know who this person is that they're put in this jail cell and all this kind of stuff. Or this they're investigating. Um,
And they could be
but
innocent.
it's
That's the thing, right? They could
yeah,
they
and it
would
could be
call it
innocent.
for
Yeah,
questioning,
it
where
could be in there for questioning,
Or
and
they could be
who knows,
snitching.
could be snitching. Yeah, could get like
Now
a
they on camera.
get Johnny Tight Lips to take care of him, whatever. But uh it's definitely concerning overall as far as like obviously nobody wants a security camera hacked. I know we had some issues with I think even some I think it was in the past. I can't remember the company. I know if it was Blink or something else that somebody had some cameras inside their own house and then they were using like the audio and stuff like that to communicate because they have like little speakers on there. Where you can like actually communicate back and forth like a speaker system. Um, and they were like inside watching the family and the kids playing around and talking to the kids like, "Hey, I'm watching you now," kind of thing, which is really creepy. Um, and obviously, this is concerning as well. It seems like most of the security cameras are watching like the perimeter and watching like the warehouse and make sure nothing's going on. People aren't getting attacked or making sure that nobody's stealing stuff from wherever they're at. Um, so it's obviously still concerning. I think it's obviously just shows the kind of the lacks of security in regards to this super admin account that was pretty much on the web from what they say. They were able to hack it from a website. I'm sure it was some sort of like it was in some code somewhere or some portion of a website's like the HTML data. It was probably kind of exposed in one of those something they didn't even think of when they put the password out there. Um, but they got access to it and they had a super admin account, able to connect to all these devices, connect to all these companies, security cameras, and just watch what they're doing. Hopefully, nobody's doing anything crazy. But yeah, it's obviously a big concern. But at the same time, like other part of me is like, hey, they saw some stuff. Hopefully, it wasn't anything crazy like you were saying, the proprietary stuff where they can like use this data to enrich themselves and like, oh yeah, we saw how they manufacture that trunk release that's so proprietary that nobody's been able to figure it out until now. But besides that, they got in there. Now they hopefully everything's locked down and they got removed from that access. But I think going forward, I mean, I'm sure they learned quite a bit from this situation. Hopefully, it doesn't repeat in the future. But with that, do you have some thoughts on it as well, Ryan? What you think?
Yeah, definitely. So these arson cats, right? So they probably believe that they're hacktivists, like they're doing it for the people or whatnot. Which I mean, when you find things, that's great, but you're supposed to report it to the company, not blast them with it. Then that's when you get into uh, really morally gray area, right? Now you're doing it to cause mischief or be malicious. So I didn't hear of them releasing any of this too much of this information, whatever. I think they show some examples and whatnot, but I'm sure they have like gigs and gigs and gigs of video, uh, which is probably mostly benign, like you said. Like, who really cares about people going to their lunch break and things of that nature? It's like if they had audio, then yes, that's bad for eavesdropping and whatnot. But if this is in a warehouse, then you're probably not catching people doing, doing anything that could be deemed inappropriate or anything that, could be considered nudity or anything like that because they're at work. But you go to the gym, then it gets kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like now you're stalking people who are working out, so there might be something there. Um, but I remember years ago, this happened to a baby monitoring company. I forget the name of the company. I think they're still in business, but I had one of their monitors. It was never connected to the internet though, because it was just too much of a pain in the butt. And I was like, I'll just go in the room and look at the kid. But people did connect to the internet, and people were able to eavesdrop on people's babies and kids and stuff like that. So again, this is why I worry about Amazon Sidewalk. Like I love Amazon products, but if all of our cameras are connected to one another, um, and then there's a breach, even though they say they have like triple, AES 256 and all that good stuff, like you just have to have one security flaw. And now people are eavesdropping in other people's houses or monitoring their perimeters so they can figure out when they leave their house. And you know what I mean? Like, so it does make me nervous. So hopefully, um, what is it? What is the term? Is it SDLC where you bake security into the process from the beginning? Like if I'm developing software,
Yes,
uh,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Software
hopefully,
development life cycle,
yeah.
something like that.
hopefully this helps them go back to the drawing board for the next product. Like, hey, we got to make sure people can't, find some vulnerability out there wherever it at, and then now I'm inside people's cars. You know what I mean? I'm in their Tesla truck watching them drive or something, because then that leads to other complications. Like, I don't know, talking to people while they're driving, like you scare the hell out of somebody when they drive off the road. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? Or you
Yeah.
just catch somebody saying something inappropriate, but within the confines of their own vehicle or their own home. Like, you shouldn't be saying bad stuff anyway, but you should have some sort of privacy in your own home. So,
Mhm.
um, what I mean, that could ruin people, or taken out of context, anything can be damning. You know what I mean? Like, if you just take a snippet of something somebody said completely out of context, that could be pretty bad. So it's just scary. Like it's Big Brother 1984 type stuff happening, because everything's connected. So it does give me apprehension.
Mhm.
So I think this group may be a little emboldened though, right? Like they came right out and said, "Hey, for a little bit of art anarchism is why we do this," right? So it's not to say they're not out there searching to do this to somebody else. You know what I mean? So hopefully these what do you
Activists or
hack no the companies themselves, like with cameras, like CCTV, the guys that
oh yeah,
provide like
the
closed
security
caption,
monitoring.
yeah, security
Yeah,
monitoring and stuff like that. Like hopefully they wisen up and be like, okay, well, we saw what happened to those guys and we don't want no parts of that, right? Like it's just not what you want. Like I know there's a lot of these military installations that have cameras, right? Like they may start looking and be like, okay, where are we getting these from, and do we really want to stick with these guys? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or they may reach out to those companies and be like, hey, prove to us that this is not going to happen to you. These companies shouldn't want that type of negative publicity, even though it didn't happen to them. Like, make sure your house is in order, you know?
right, right,
Mhm.
exactly. Because I'm trying to think of, like, most security systems now have a camera in the panel. You know how you have the panel to your security system. So I shouldn't say most, but in a lot of smart homes, they now have a camera system in there to monitor the living room, and if you have like a patio or a window or something down there. So it has a speaker. So if glass shatters, because they did the test in my house where they had like it looked like a box that just played glass shattering noise to make sure the system alerted when it heard glass shattering. So that means it's always listening.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then there's a camera built in. So after it was done, he showed me on the panel. He was like, "Yeah, when the glass shattered, you saw the camera cut on. And then you can see all of our faces." Like, I'm like, "But what if somebody just activates that? Now they're just monitoring my house."
Right.
So,
True. That's
Yeah.
very. I don't have the one that has the decibel thing on it, like you're talking about, right? When it gets above certain decibels, like it triggers. But I
right,
have I have my security system set up to where when certain actions happen in the house, you know what I mean? Things get open or whatever, like
right,
it activates the camera. You know what I mean? And I understand the risk of somebody getting into my computer, my security system, to look at those things, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, am I willing to say, okay, I'm not going to do that at all? Like if for
yeah,
whatever reason I'm not at home, my family, am I willing to risk them being in danger, or you know what I mean? So you gotta weigh those options.
yeah. It's definitely all about risk mitigation. So I can see, like, so I'm not getting rid of mine. So part of the reason I bought the house is because it was smart. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, this all this cool stuff, but all this stuff is against me. So what do I do with that? Just try to be smart, try to make sure all my stuff is secure. Maybe put up some extra stuff like a firewall in my home, um, just to make sure the information can't get out. You know what I mean? Like, there's a ton of things you could do. That could be an episode into itself of the different ways to lock down a smart house. But I think it's all good info. Appreciate, like, see, I undersold it. It was great. We gave the people
It's
what they
great
wanted.
content. That's right.
But so that wraps up for this episode. Shout out to the Patreon patrons. Thank you for your support. Shout out to my co-hosts. Thank you for always being here, always giving me good information and good feedback. Remember, if you're a Patreon subscriber or a Patreon patron, I should say, you receive this episode at least 7 days earlier than the free feeds, all at one time. So they're going to be staggered throughout the week, but you'll get it all in one day, so you can watch to your heart's content. If you're a YouTube viewer, please remember to subscribe, to hit the like button on the video, send us some feedback, hit that bell so you get more videos like this throughout the week. If you are a podcast listener, just continue to subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, hit that button, subscribe on your platform of choice, share with your friends, and just hit us up on the socials. The anchor is www.theothersideofthefirewall.com, which sends you to the Instagram, that'll send you to our Twitter, our Facebook page and group, all called The Other Side of the Firewall. And then you can personally hit us up. Uh, I'm on Twitter and Clubhouse at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. And Levon,
Yep. Hit me up at Levon Maynard.
there it is. So, like I said, that wraps up for this show. Y'all be easy.
Take care.